Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to A Couple More Minutes podcast, where two veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeff Gabor, and alongside me, as always, is...
Pete Paquette.
Pete, again. Oh my goodness. You're always here. This week, the Quantum Assurance Board will travel back in time and take a look back at 1987 Nintendo game Karnov for Karnovember to see if it deserves the Nintendo seal of approval it carries on its package. But first, our favorite game stump, Pete. I'll give you clues to 3 retro video games, and we'll see if Pete can guess them, and feel free to play along. You ready, Pete?
I am ready.
You're always ready. All right. This 1989 NES game by Capcom was developed independently of its arcade counterpart and featured an organization of high-tech ninja-like operatives set in a dystopian future. Man, it didn't take you long. Damn it. Now I have 2 more clues. All right, well, here's the audio. And for the final clue for those playing at home, the arcade version was a hack and slash game featuring the main character, Hiru, and his plasma blade, where the NES game is a slower narrative platformer featuring levels with a series of elevators and transport tubes to navigate. So a very different game. One's a hack and slash and one's much more of a story-driven platformer. So we had Strider.
And I don't know if you said this or not, but they were developed in tandem.
Right, yes. It was done independently, but in tandem. Like it wasn't like a like years later than the NES version, but they were done together. And they had some manga to go along with it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Man, I had my Genesis by the time this came out, and so I had the Genesis version. So I looked back and never actually even played the Nintendo version.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I remember renting that one weekend, and I played it for so long that my I thought my AC adapter I thought was gonna burn.
Wow. Man, I really got to go back and play it because I just did not give it a chance. Because you know what? I'll bet you, and I'm sure you would be able to tell me, the NES version is probably the better version.
I think so.
Now, like
But
I know that yeah.
But I was gonna say they're 2 totally different games.
Yeah, they're so different. I got to be honest, like I played my Genesis one a lot, and it's so hard. I never got very far in the game. It's super just. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on what you're supposed to do. The music is very iconic. And it looks cool, but it was very hard to understand what you were supposed to do, even with a hack and slash.
It kind of suffered from that Genesis game design where the sprites are too big for the screen.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it was, the NES version is superior in my book.
Yeah, I think I need to go back and give it a proper chance. All right, game number 2. This 1987 sports game only features 12 teams and couldn't use the official team names due to LGN being given the license for a far inferior sports title.
LJN was, you said 87?
1987 game, only 12 teams, and they couldn't use the team names because LJN had the license.
That's Major League Baseball.
I'm sure that fits the description, but it is not. So I will play a song from this particular game.
So it's got to be NFL then.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's man.
Yeah, it's It is. All right, final clue for those playing at home. This will give it away. This game features the infamous recreation of Bo Jackson as an unstoppable force.
Wait a minute, you said it was LJN that made that game. That's
No. They couldn't use the official team names because LJN had the license to the names because they made
because they
NFL.
made NFL. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So they could only say the city name, so like Los Angeles or Denver. It was, and it did bother me back then. But
Yeah, it
well,
would have
you
been.
still,
It
it
would
would
have been a
better.
perfect game.
Yep. They still didn't have the license, did they, for Super Tecmo Bowl? I can't remember actually.
I think they did.
Yeah, maybe they did by that time. Because I know they had the rights from the whatever they call it, the NFLPA, the Players Association, which is why they got to use the player names and that kind of stuff, but they just didn't have the NFL license. Anyways, final game, Pete. You're doing great. This 1990 NES game was developed by Now Production, and it was published by Capcom, and is one of many NES game features the weapon of a yo-yo.
Goonies.
It is not
No,
Goonies.
it's not Goonies 2.
Yeah.
The yo-yo.
Definitely.
Okay, wait. Is it Little Nemo?
It's not Little Nemo.
Oh, damn.
Yo-yo, Capcom.
Go to the next.
All right. Features this music.
Is this it?
Bingo. Got it. Nailed it. Clue number 3 for those at home. The game is based on the mascot for Domino's Pizza at the time. You're right. It is Yo-Noid.
That game had amazing graphics back then.
It did. It gets a lot of crap now, but dude, I really liked that game back in the day. It was a fun platformer.
Yeah.
I think it got a lot of garbage because like it was similar to Alex Kidd. Like the end had like really obscure like paper rock scissors almost type of combat or like a card game or something like that. I think it was a card game.
I don't remember.
Anyways,
It's been years since I played that game.
Yeah, I don't think it holds up very well, but I definitely loved it at the time. And I actually loved the Noid character. He's a gross little ugly dude, but I actually really liked him.
I loved the claymation commercials.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up Stump Pete. So we had Strider, and we had Tecmo Bowl, and we had Yo-Noid. All right, so moving on, we'll go to just a little bit of news before we jump into the Quantum Assurance Board. This first article comes from Kotaku, in which a bunch of people are complaining that when they updated their Switch 2 firmware, all the third-party docks, well, maybe not all, but a lot of third-party docks no longer worked after that.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and apparently Nintendo actually sent Kotaku a response in which they said, Nintendo Switch 2 outputs audio visuals once it detects that it is docked into a Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Nintendo Switch does the same, outputting audio visuals once it detects that it is docked into a Nintendo Switch dock. Nintendo does not have any intention to hinder or invalidate legal third-party dock compatibility. Very specific, invalidate legal third-party dock compatibility. So they seem to be like underlining that little phrase, saying maybe calling out certain companies as illegal and thus not working anymore. Yeah, interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah, thankfully I just use my standard dock. I don't have any reason to buy a bunch of third-party stuff for that. Like I learned my lesson back in the 80s. You don't buy third-party like controllers or third-party
anything.
Yeah, it's just you're setting yourself up for a disaster.
Yep.
Game of the Year nominations came out. Claire Obscure, which is Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is crazy that only out of all those, Expedition 33 is the only original IP.
Huh.
And it's actually the very first year that multiple independent games have qualified for Game of the Year, which it being Silk Song, Hades 2, and Expedition 33, I guess technically qualifies as well. Which is crazy. Yeah, good on independent gaming.
I hope Silk Song wins for your sake, Jeff Gabor.
Yeah, it's gonna be Expedition 33. It's just got so many fans, but Silk Song is, man, I'm just obsessed with it. I listen to the music almost every day. I love the game mechanics. Just a beautiful game. Moving on to some Disney news. Disney CEO Bob Iger boasted about the integration of AI generative content in Disney Plus. This is a quote from him.
The other thing that we're really excited about that AI is going to give us is the ability to provide users at Disney Plus with a much more engaged experience, including the ability for them to create user-generated content and to consume user-generated content, mostly short form from others.
Lovely. So it's great. They can create a bunch of like generic, super dumb AI generated and Anna and Elsa videos, and then other people can load them up and watch them and share them and feel like, and then you know what's going to happen is going to be like, look at this animation I created, and then share it as if they actually created it, and it's going to be
it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a good way to piss me off really badly. But oh well, I guess that's good for Bob Iger. They got to do something, right? They're hemorrhaging money, so whatever. Speaking of Disney, IGN just today, I just saw this article today. There is a student film, or I think it was technically a student film, but a fan-made Star Wars thing, short, that was put out in 2019. And it is insane that one of the latest Star Wars Disney Plus things has a fight sequence that is almost a shot for shot to the frame remaking of that fan's short. And it's like, okay, I always feel like, oh, people kind of land on the same ideas. Like, how many different ways can you fight? Like, man, when you watch the side by side, it's like, oh my God, that's pretty hard to deny. It's like right down to the acting choices, camera angles.
Par for the course.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like, we've been in those situations where you're an animator or you're a storyboard artist and you're trying to like find inspiration. You end up Googling some stuff, and I think just someone got lazy and someone's like, yeah, that works. Nobody's ever heard of this thing. Nobody will ever know. And then I don't know how you get it that far down the line to be so close. It looks intentional. Yeah. It's crazy.
It probably was.
It definitely could be. It's almost to the point where they're like, hey, this will be really cool for this guy because they'll see that we took his stuff and he'll be very honored that we did it. That's what it almost like feels like because it's so close. I don't know. Anyways, I don't think the guy's very happy about it. If you want to take a look at it for yourself, you can quickly just Google like IGN Star Wars fan stolen Disney, something like that. It'll come up. And it's a pretty interesting like side by side shot that they got going there. An article you brought to my attention, which is very apropos to the fact that we just did an entire episode on Little Samson, is Little Samson's getting a new release. Yeah, Limited Run is going to put out a new like release of it on PS5, Switch, PC. That's crazy timing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I mean, they've wanted to do it for a while, apparently.
Yeah,
and,
they couldn't find the rights, right? Like they didn't know even who held the rights.
Yeah, according to NintendoLife.com, they interviewed Limited Run Games' Josh Fairhurst about Little Samson back in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, it's super high on games I want to do, but no one knows where the rights are. We reached out to Taito and they said they might be with the owner. So we found the owner, who was really hard to find, and he said, I don't know who has the rights. So now we're basically at a dead end. Who has the rights to Little Samson? No idea. That was back in 2022.
Yeah, so I guess
they must have figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out, or they went to some court stuff to like untangle it or whatever they did. So it's coming out. So it'll, if you don't actually want to load up some emulators and and go down that route. You can play it legit again and actually purchase it and get it on your Switch, which is super cool.
Yeah,
I don't think they're changing anything or adding anything. It's just they're just re-releasing it, from what I can tell, right?
yeah, I'm curious since it's limited run if they're gonna actually release a NES cartridge.
Yeah, they definitely could, and that would be super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because then it'd be like a sort of an official reproduction cartridge.
yeah. I mean, I like the fact that Nintendo released the cartridge of the World Championship. Like, I'm never gonna own a Nintendo World Championship cart, but they did the little, like, the new kind of game, and it came with a little Nintendo repro type thing, and that was cool. I don't think it actually works, but limited run could actually make it work. Yeah. You playing anything, Pete?
God, what the hell have I been doing?
Oh my god. Karnov, I bet.
Yeah, I've been playing Karnov. That's been pretty much it.
Well, since our last episode, you did do your Extra Life marathon, so you did play at least like 24 hours of games, and you ended up with a pretty good sum of money there.
Yeah, we got as a team just above $5,000 for Boston Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
Which was really good. It was good to see you. I'm glad you came out.
That was awesome.
And we had a good time. You beat Super Mario 3, and you beat Contra with no cheat code.
Yeah, one death.
Yeah,
one death the entire game. That was insane. I'd never done that before, so that surprised me. That was fun.
Yeah, so for that alone, we all decided you get your name on the trophy.
Yes, that is awesome, man. I hope I can come back again next year. That it's such a fun event, and I encourage everybody else to get involved with that stuff because it is really fun to just dedicate yourself, even just to 12 hours, to play games and do it for a good cause. So good on you, Pete. Well, man, let's head back in time. Let's take a look at Data East 1987 Karnov and see if it deserves its seal of quality. What do you say, bud?
Let's do it.
All right, play a little music, and when we come back, Karnov. Welcome to the hearings of the Quantum Assurance Board, where we have been sent back in time to make right what once went wrong and determine for all time whether Data East's 1987 Karnov game deserves the Nintendo seal of quality it boasted to earn. We will take a look at its graphics, take a look at its music, we'll take a look at its controls, and we'll take a look at its fun factor and determine whether it deserves that seal of quality. So what say you, Pete? You been enjoying your time with Karnov?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, not at all.
Shocking.
I thought you were telling me to be quiet for a second there.
No. So how about them graphics at least? Let's start there.
All right, we'll start with the graphics. Just consult my notes here. I really enjoy the Karnov sprites.
Like the actual main character?
Yeah, the player player character. I really enjoy them. I thought they're really well done. In fact, the effect of him warping in and out of the world via lightning bolt.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Looked really awesome.
Yeah, that's how every level starts, is like huge bolt of lightning that zigzags and forms. It's like it's like Terminator.
Yeah. And it's the enemy sprites, I'd say, are believable for their environment, but they're kind of designed all over the place. There's no cohesive design in the enemies whatsoever.
No, it gets all over the place. Even like there's bosses at each end of the level, and you got Medusa, you have T-Rex, you have a large fish man mermaid beast looking thing, it is like all over the map.
And you
know,
have like
crazy dragon.
some random like robed character with a lion on a chain.
Yeah. And you just shoot at it, and then all of a sudden the lion like half-assed runs at you, and you just blast it. It's super weak sauce. It's pretty bad. But you're right. The overall, everything looked how it was supposed to look. Like it's not like obscure, but it's not appealing. I would say okay. So Karnov, right? His animation is not bad, or his sprites aren't. They look fine. They're just who he is so bizarre. Why did they choose the main character to be basically a circus man with no shirt? He looks like a Russian strongman.
Interestingly enough, in Japan, he was a quote unquote bad man who had died and was summoned by God to return to Earth.
Right.
And
he's like their slave. He's like their slave. Like he has to do as he's told.
And the interesting thing is, that's why he lightning bolts down from the sky. And lightning bolts back up because he talks to them because there were cutscenes in the Japanese version in between levels. So he goes back and talks to them in between each level.
And that's actually pretty cool. I did not know that until you brought that up during your Extra Life campaign. So I went ahead and made sure I played both the American version and the Japanese version. And yeah, those cutscenes actually add a lot of appeal to the game. The one, they're really highly detailed and look really nice. They're not little crappy, cutscenes. They're great. And they add a lot too, because I used Google Translate, like my phone image thing, so I could hold it up and it would on the fly translate. And it gives you clues on what to do on each level. Now, those clues are found in the manual for the US version, but they're right there in the cutscenes for the Japanese players, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. And that carries right through the end. And man, you get ripped off in the US.
Yes, you do.
You work so hard at this game, and it ends on a black screen that just says, "Congratulations."
Yep.
Nothing. Not what happened to the character. Nothing. Just nothing. But the Japanese version has this many, 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 many images, a whole story that goes along with it, talking about he's been released, that he's now he's a citizen, he's been redeemed, and the people of the world come out, and none of the evil creatures that they saw before are present anymore, and it has this like almost like rising sunrise type of like environment. It's really good.
Yeah,
man.
And there's more than one there's more than one track on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
in the Japanese version.
Yeah, so talking about music, man, that one song for the American version. Bring, bring. Oh, God. It plays all the time. Super repetitive. It doesn't really even fit the tone of the game. Like it's like sing-songy circus music. I mean, I guess that fits his character, but it does not fit this like bleak environment where there's demons and I don't know, Medusa and all that. It's just very weird choice. Not good. And the sound effects, dude.
Oh, the sound effects are balls.
They started to drive me nuts because it basically ends up turning into a shoot 'em up where the things start flying at you so fast, so you basically just mash the shoot button.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
So you had that kind of that Dragon's Lair syndrome going on.
Yep.
No, not Dragon's Lair, Dragon Spirit syndrome going on.
Yes. So Dragon Spirit has great music, but you're sitting there firing so much, and it takes over to some of the chiptune, area that you can even use for the music. So you lose out on an entire channel. And in this game, it doesn't even matter that it's using clearly the sound effects are using like I think the noise channel for the NES, and it's so most of the time all you hear is. It's it's awful.
Yep. No, it's true.
Oh my goodness.
It's true.
The one thing I wanted to head back to and talking about the graphics. Now, most of the enemies, like you said, they weren't cohesive, but nothing was more incohesive than those naked men in little black underwear that would be sitting in this weird pose where their legs were like bent backwards and their arms were into like almost like this like I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're out to the side, but then the elbows are pointing straight down, so they're like making an awkward T shape almost. And they
Yeah,
bounce
they were
around.
like Russian dancers or something.
Yeah, it is the most awkward looking illustration. It has no animation to it. It's just that single frame, and they bounce around, and it is like, all right, so naked men are after me now. It doesn't fit the game at all. I don't know what is going on with those characters. They're laughable, and they have like this big red beard, and it's just very funny. Like, I don't know. It certainly makes, I guess, the game a bit charming because it's like you would not see that kind of stuff today. Like a random enemy naked and dancing around. So odd. Let's see. Controls. To me, this is where it really
Controls.
falls apart.
Yeah.
Like the other stuff is like, okay, it can be almost charming on how it in like NES nostalgia type charm. This is where it's just like unforgivable.
Well, let's just talk about let's just lay it out like this.
Uh-huh.
You have your UI, and your UI is a strip that runs horizontally from screen left to screen right,
Mm-hmm.
and it lays out every single one of your items that you can get.
Yeah. 12 of them,
and
right? Or 10 or 12 of them, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. In order to navigate this menu to activate one of these things, you actually have to move Karnov in that direction.
Right.
So the idea of the principle of single responsibility is out the window.
Yeah. So every time you press left, a new item gets selected or gets highlighted. You go right, now another item gets selected. So
Yeah.
as you're walking around, you're constantly selecting new items unintentionally. You're just playing the game, but your menu bar is flying, taking inputs. It'd be like instead of hitting the pause screen in Legend of Zelda, just as you were walking around, you're randomly going through. Oh, bombs! Nope, arrows. Oh, now you're going. Now you get your candle selected. Like it's like what the heck? It is
and
awful.
the single responsibility principle is a real thing in engineering. My brother told me about it, and I have a
that makes sense,
definition
yeah.
here. It's a class or module that should only have one reason to change.
Mm-hmm.
They completely on that.
Yeah, they threw it out the window. And I will say the only saving grace, which is odd because you can pause it and then you still have access to going through your items. If they would have just restricted to that, where you just hit pause and then you go to select your item, it would have been fine. But there's one of the main items that you use is a ladder, and you basically have to select your ladder and then you hit. I think it's select. I think. You have to be
Yeah.
on the ground, and I think you hit the select button and it'll create the ladder. And that's used to get other items. So you want to make sure you place it at an exact position. But if you're having to dance around left, right, left, right, left, right to properly select the ladder, you may get yourself out of proper screen position to use the ladder.
All the while, enemies spawn non-stop.
Yeah. So aggravating. And then there's just like the fun factor of these items. You get shields, you have screen wipes where, it's like a bomb on the screen that wipes everybody out. You have wings. Now, all these really cool items aren't even usable 90% of the time. The game won't even let you access them. So it'll like do this little like, the items that you actually can use will kind of flash. But most of these really better items, the cooler items, don't even allow you to, they don't flash, they don't let you know you can use them for the vast majority of the game. It's like, why even have them? Again, we've been going back weeks and weeks talking about games where it's like, it sucks when they reduce your creativity and how you can play the game.
Like I don't know what Brainiac designed this, but it feels like two gameplay mechanics mashed into one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It feels like they had like two different ideas for a game, and let's just like just put them together. We're running out of time.
You definitely have never played anything quite like it. I'll tell you that much. It is very odd when you play it. And going beyond that, then we're talking about like how does Karnov handle? It is jacked. Like the camera. Dear Lord, the camera cannot properly follow Karnov. It only goes horizontal and vertical. So if you're going in a diagonal manner, it does this stair step motion where it's like, oh, I got to go down. So it goes straight down. And then it's like, okay, now I can move horizontal again. And it is sickening, like how it does it.
I've outrun the camera so many times.
Yeah, and it happens when you're falling because it's not going to keep up with your right motion because it needs to only do the vertical falling. So then you get all the way to the right side of the screen and you get pegged by enemies that are off screen to you because you don't ever see them coming.
Yep.
And then
it's like it's like the camera was designed to keep Karnov on screen when he was falling.
Yeah, and oddly it does exactly not that.
Him falling is also compensated.
Yeah.
Because he falls like he's like, I don't know.
The air's
like,
made of molasses.
Yeah.
It's like he's falling through honey. It is bizarre. So you can jump up at a normal speed, like, it's like, oh, Mario Brothers. But not when you're descending, you're half floating. And it's like, okay, maybe that's just like he's got some godlike power or something. It doesn't even stay consistent. So if you jump and then you are going down, you can still press left and right like a lot of games, and you still have a general, control over your character like Mario. Oh no, not if you actually walk off an edge. If you accidentally walk off the edge of a platform, then you must only fall vertically, just straight down. Again, falling as slow as molasses, and you can see that you're not gonna make it to a ledge. You're just gonna fall straight down. You just have to take it. There's nothing you can do. You just fall straight down, and you like half the time you're like spamming your fire button while you're going down. You're just like, no. You have no control. It's comical, the game. I will say that. I don't know if AVGN has done this game, but man, it is just ripe with horrible stuff.
He really needs to.
That falling is so bad.
Because there are people who think this game is good still.
It is not
good. And it is like, rose tinted glasses totally.
Oh my god. Oh, one other thing I wanted to bring up. So I was playing on an emulator at first. And I couldn't figure out why I kept dying. And I'm like, I know I've played this game. I don't know what's going on. I would jump, like it would be like, it would play that horrible starting music. And the flash of lightning, and I would start walking, and then I would jump up into the air, and Karnov would just, it would make the horrible death sound, and I would like lay down mid in the air. I'm like, I didn't hit anything. So I was thinking it was like a graphics error, like I wasn't seeing enemies or something, and I was like, well, this emulator sucked. I switched over to another emulator. Happened again. I could not figure it out. So I switched over to the Mister, and I was like, okay, then I played it just fine. So I was like, all right, well, I guess there's something wrong with emulating this game. I went back and found out that only for the American version, if you have a second controller and you simultaneously press A and B together, it will kill Karnov. So what was happening was I had mapped my NES controller on the emulator to player 1 and player 2. So it was simultaneously giving inputs for player 1 and player 2, pressing A and B. So I would jump up in the air, and since I was jumping, holding down the A and then firing, I would kill myself over and over again.
That must have been so frustrating.
Oh my God, I could not figure out what was going on. And then it just begs the question, why? Why?
Yeah, why did they need a kill switch?
There's not places in the game where you're like, well, I'm stuck, or this puzzle can't be solved from this position, so you have to kill yourself. There's nothing like that. Why? Why is that in there?
I don't know.
Very odd.
Let me ask another question.
Yeah.
Why in God's name is the continue prompt underneath the the game over prompt?
Right?
So you could easily, if you're not paying attention and you're like quickly starting the game again, you have to reset the game and start all the way back at the beginning.
Oh my God.
So you have to literally make sure that you don't hit select and then hit start.
Yeah, if you get frustrated and take a couple deaths and you just spamming start, you're not going to start from that level again. You're starting the game over, which is actually, at least in addition to the American version, the Japanese version doesn't even have a continue screen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did you know there is actually a continue though?
Is there?
There is. They just
hit
didn't.
A and B on the second controller.
It's similar to that. You press if you there's no continue screen, but there's a hidden continue. So when you die and you press start and select at the same time, it'll let you continue. But I think it's even then it only gives you 3, which is, I don't know. That's a ripoff. I don't know. There are a couple good things, I guess. Like I do like the fireballs. Like you can upgrade them kind of like Gradius style, so you can upgrade your weapons and you become pretty overpowered once you have the 3-shot. You can kill things super fast. Yeah. Heaven forbid you lose that. There is some good item choices. Like I love the shield. It basically puts a shield in front of Karnov, and then you can take like 5 hits before getting hit. That's pretty good. I like that stuff.
Stay away from it. Like I tend to do better at the game when I don't even try and mess with that menu.
It is rough. It is rough. It's funny. One of the I think it's the dragon one. The manual actually says you will not win without the shield. Like it's warning you must take the shield. And I think similarly, there's some warnings from the Japanese version in the cutscenes that tells you about only hitting the head or you won't survive. And there's also, did you ever try the scuba gear?
Yeah, you swim a lot faster.
Yeah, very odd. It's like this game is like super, it's like mythic, Greek, Russian, weird mythology, and then all of a sudden it's like you put on a diver's helmet and some fins. It's like, okay. And then he just starts hauling butt around the screen. And the worst part of it though is you quickly outpace the camera again and get yourself into trouble and take a spear from a mermaid. It's a disaster. Did you make it to the end of the game, Pete?
No, I never did.
So I think there's 8 levels.
Now I do know that they made what should have been a permanent item and not a collectible item available in the game. They should have made the wings.
Yes.
They shouldn't have made those collectible.
Yep.
So they sprinkle the wings out in different areas throughout the game, and then you need them for, what is it, level 7?
Yeah, I think it is.
And if you don't have them enough, you're screwed.
Yeah, yeah. So you just, and they're time based. So at the beginning of the level, you have to activate wings to go across the initial gap, and you got, I don't know, 8 seconds, and then you have to find another pair of wings. And when those wings deactivate, you fall like molasses again, straight down. So you don't get that like leverage to like, all right, I'm almost there, and then you can like kind of arc your character to the platform where you see the next bit of wings or something like that. Nope, you're falling straight down. It is not well designed. So you kind of have to already know where you're going to go and where the extra wings are to keep you going, because I think you need at least 3 wings to get through that level.
A piece of shit.
It is bad, dude. The final level, they changed the final boss. I guess he was a wizard in the arcade version, but it's like this 3-headed dragon that comes out of these various holes. This is fine. The only thing that bothered me, and it ended up being a good thing, but I was just like, why didn't they tell you that? Is so you fight all these bosses during all parts of the game, right? Where you have like we mentioned like the fish and the Medusa, and they are bullet sponges. You gotta like really whale them to kill them, and they specifically note in the manual that the wipe bomb thing will not work on these characters, and they don't. Throughout, you were taught in the entire game, if you use those bombs on the boss, it does nothing, except for all of a sudden on the final level that does work. I just happened to like try it, and I was like, oh my god, like I was rewarded by just like experimenting, because it basically does a boss rush right before the final boss. And so thankfully, since those are mini bosses, I guess it allows you to wipe them. And that was the only way I was able to beat the game. Like I could not get past the giant fish and Medusa, and then the dragon all in one go without having these like super bombs wipe the screen. So I guess it's good.
Can we say here, like, speaking of all these different bosses, how often they're recycled?
Yeah, right? Why? I guess we know why, but it's annoying.
Yeah, it's like here I am. I fight the Medusa, kill the Medusa. I get to the next level, and I'm like, okay, what's the next boss? Oh, it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex again.
Yeah,
it's like, well, maybe there's another boss, and then it's so I kill him, and then it's like, it's like, God.
And that reminds me, one of your items is a bomb, right? And you think you can use that as a weapon. It's not even a weapon. There's no way for you to select the bomb in time, put it down, and have an enemy run in front of it. Maybe, did you even do that, Pete? I never actually got to try to use it. Yeah, because
the only item I used with the bosses was the ladder with the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, that works. So you can like just line up your shots really effectively.
Yeah.
So the bomb ends up being used as basically finding hidden pathways, and this becomes apparent when you get to the ice level, where there's some like walls that you can't get through any other way. And of course the game throws like 12 bomb items. So it does that. But they're super wonky. You have to put them in like within like it feels like a 5 pixel like space to make sure the bombs go off and destroy the wall. And it takes super long time. The graphics of it are not very like satisfying. Like you don't get an explosion or anything. It's just all of a sudden 16 by 16 tiles kind of disappear on certain walls. It's not very exciting. And one of the bigger things that there's a clue in the manual. I think it's level 6. I think. Anyways, the clue in the manual says, "Do not climb the tower next to the town." It's like, okay, like it's super obscure. Like I don't know what that means. Like, don't climb the tower. So you get to this level, and it's not that far in to the level. You get this, like, you come to like a dead end. There's a wall, and there's a series of platforms that are sort of triangular shaped. And I figured out, okay, that was what they meant by a tower. And it is a son of a to try to get all the way to the top, because every rung of this ladder spawns like one of the bosses. So it's like a crazy boss rush all the way up to the top. And I'm telling you, the graphics don't really indicate that really is a tower. I just kind of like, you just eventually backwards kind of fit the idea of like, okay, all right, that must have been the tower. So then I was like, all right, well, there was clues there. In the Japanese version, the cutscene says don't climb the tower. So I finally went to the very edge of the bottom of the tower and just tried to use the bomb, and sure enough, it opened up a wall. So then you don't have to climb the tower. And it's like so annoying that that kind of hidden clue is hidden away in the manual for the US version, and it gives you no indication that a bomb should be used there. There's no graphic like that is like clear that it's a bombable wall or anything. It's just it's just bad. It's just bad.
You want to know how bad this game is, really?
Go.
On the back of the box.
Oh no.
For screenshots, they take screenshots from the arcade and put it on the back of an NES box.
That is sacrilegious. is. Oh my god, I gotta look at that. I did not know that. All right, Karnov, back of box. You're right. That's good stuff. It's not even remotely close. The detail and the amount of colors that are in that thing, it's like, no.
Yep.
No, that's not it yet. Oh, that's funny. Man.
Yeah, Data East did that with another game too. I can't remember which one though. Oh, Karate Champ.
Man, could you get sued now for doing that? I feel like you could.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Man, that is crazy. Yeah, it's not even remotely like that. All right, that's crazy. Interesting enough, Karnov actually, we hinted at it at the end of the last episode, but Data East was trying to make Karnov kind of like their mascot. Right?
Yeah.
Like it was like going to be their Mario or whatever it was. And they ended up putting Karnov in other games.
Yep. Notably Bad Dudes.
Yeah, Bad Dudes. Where I guess what you were talking about the story, he's a bad guy in it.
Wow, that actually makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. And I think he's in a one other game or whatever, but he's always the bad dude. He's not actually good. And I always wondered, oh, why is this like Data East main character always like he's like the main superhero in this game, and then of course he turns into like this bad guy in every other video game, but now it really makes sense. It's like, oh, he really is a bad dude that was just brought back. This is like the end of the story rather than the other games are the beginning of the story. It's very weird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got that going for it, I guess. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Any last thoughts on Karnov, Med?
I think we covered absolutely everything.
Yeah, this game's not very deep, and we said a lot. There's not much to it. It is...
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I would say the fun factor of this game is poor, man. It is... I don't think I'll ever play it again. The sound is so dang annoying. The American version has no cutscenes to at least like give you something. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Stay away from it.
So, stripping it. No more
Stripping.
seal.
No more seal no more seal of approval by
read it its rights. Karnov. The Quantum Assurance Board hereby finds you unworthy of the Nintendo seal of quality and thus deems you as an utter and complete piece of garbage. You are hereby sentenced to be forgotten and buried side by side with Atari's E.T. in a New Mexico dump to rot for all eternity. So long, Karnov. Game over for you. Eat it! Eat it, Karnov! All right, next episode, we will be back with another Shoot the episode, and then we'll come back and tell you a little bit about the next game that we're going to check in on and see if it deserves its seal of quality. Don't have one picked out just yet. You can always reach us at a couple more minutes at gmail.com, and we'll catch you next time. Right, Pete? I think you said something there. What did you say?
I said that's right.
Oh, that's right. Of course that's right. Technology. It likes to cut off some of your words. So I didn't hear that. But he said absolutely. So that's what we're going to do. All right, Pete. This has been A Couple More Minutes podcast where two veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games. And I'll catch you next time. See you, Pete. Peace.
Later.
Uh-huh.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.